We're back, people, and today we're breaking a film on Jaylen Waddle, Miami Dolphins wide receiver. Had probably his biggest game of the season without Tyreek Hill in the game. He really got to carry the load. Super fun for me to watch him. He's probably still one of my top 3 favorite players on the team. And I know there's been a little bit of a discourse about him throughout the season, and I've seen it on Twitter and people kind of questioning him, and I always thought it was a bit ridiculous because to me he's been the exact same player all year long that he's been his entire career. Yeah, some drops, still a problem at times, but overall, he's still an amazing, excellent route runner. There's just a few, external factors that I think play into him, maybe slowing down at times throughout the season. Opportunities. It's hard when you're not super clicking on offense, when you have a player like Tyreek Hill, and then your running game is as affected as it is with 2 runners, to always get a bunch of targets out there. I think his target share is fine. And then it comes to, the nature of those plays. When Waddle is, getting those deep shots, he really does make a lot of big time plays. And I also think it's the nature of the offense. The offenses are all about timing, getting to your spots, and Waddle's all about the spacing of that stuff. So usually he doesn't get to show off his big route running prowess, because it's all about just getting to your spot versus zone. And it's also just about how teams play the Dolphins. Typically, Waddle and Hill get a lot of less man-to-man opportunities compared to most receivers in the NFL, but they absolutely cook DBs all the time compared to other wide receivers at such a high rate. They just don't get that many opportunities against those looks, or whether it's, man-to-man or a zone match where you get a one-on-one. The Dolphins receivers just don't see that a lot. And then, usually it's just get to your spot. But Waddle does this thing, he alters his pace and his route stem so well. I call it pace variation. It's not always about going 100% the entire time. It's about sometimes it's gliding like this. He glides, gets a little move, and then boom, he just accelerates past the DB. It lulls them to sleep, makes you so hard to predict, anticipate throughout the route stem when you're not it looks like you're going full speed, but then you hit that extra gear, you're gliding to it. And then it's also about attacking leverage. He gives a slight outside stem off the move here, and then gives a little inside, gives that hard stab with that right foot. He gives eyes to the inside, and it just frees this DBs long enough to where Waddle can accelerate past him. In the angle he takes, he doesn't allow the DB to get hands on him, and now it's just tracking through the catch point, which he does a great job of, not slowing down at all. And he's also, people talk about the Dolphins offense and always about speed. These guys are way more than speed, man. His change of direction, his ability to decelerate, accelerate, stop on a dime, all of those things, foot quickness. He's just an all-around and insane athlete, super fun to watch. And I think if Tyreek Hill wasn't on this team, Waddle would be talked about as a top 10 receiver very easily. It's just an opportunity thing. You just look at the skill set, and he is absolutely outstanding to watch. One of my favorite players to watch each and every week, even when he's not getting a bunch of targets. So I had to make this video on him, and I'll have a bunch of videos this week. So many players stood out. Probably Bradley Chubb later today. Probably do a Wilkins and Sealer duo video. Elijah Campbell, Brandon Jones. I'm probably going to do a video on Ethan Bonner. Maybe the O-line will get Teron Armstead, because I thought he was important in this game, his bounce back. And then Duke Riley was outstanding again. I think he's been super important for the defensive coverage. And then maybe even Cameron Good, because he played more significant snaps in this game compared to usual. So I want to see how he played. I haven't really checked it out too much yet, him specifically. But yeah, just focusing on Waddle. Love watching him manipulate in the route stem. One of my favorite things is route runners. And he doesn't always get the opportunity to do it because he didn't get a lot of one-on-one looks like this. And he's not always super long developing. A lot of those deep shots typically go to Tyreek. But when Waddle gets them, he does a great job beating his one-on-ones. I actually think he creates even more average separation versus man-to-man than Hill has throughout the season, because, he's very, very difficult to guard, and he's doing this against one of the best secondaries in the NFL. Dolphins get man-to-man, and look how the Jets play this. Just look at the effect. Waddle doesn't get the target here, but Sauce is basically pressing versus Chosen, and look at the the depth right here that Reed has. And this is before the touchdown. This is a couple plays before the touchdown, so you can see that he was scared of it. He actually makes the free safety run into the corner. That's actually pretty difficult to do. You have to be so explosive to make these guys panic like this in midfield for these two to run into each other with how much space they had. And he has all this separation. The ball's coming out, so the reason it doesn't go here is because he basically is getting doubled with your free safety and the ball's coming out. But he absolutely smokes this guy man-to-man, because this is where you get to see him go 100. He starts a little bit out jogging, and then once he's about to hit that break, he hits that extra space. Love the varying of pace. It makes him very difficult. He also does a great job with his stride too. You can see how it's his stride starts out pretty long, and then he starts to shorten it up and hits those quick choppy steps. I think altering your stride length is another thing wide receivers do that go a little unnoticed, because it's very difficult watching from broadcast view. But it's something a lot of wide receivers, very good ones, do that make it very difficult for DBs to keep a track on you. This was the 3rd and 15 situation where they threw it to Waddle underneath, and he gets 10 10 yards gets you into field goal position. But you can just see, the fun that they were having getting him the ball. A lot of these quick in-breakers, this is like what I was talking about earlier with like the nature of the offense. It's all about timing, and you get like these looks, these true zone, this guy's just underneath. You have them playing quarters here. They don't break on it. So Waddle just kind of floats into a spot. I love how he bends this away too, because a lot of times guys will float a little too far into the safety, but he takes a very horizontal angle. I feel like he's a very intelligent football player. Catches the ball in stride. When him and Tua are on the same page, they're very difficult to stop. And then he, tries to make something happen after the catch. Almost picks up the first down, which would have been nice to see. But just really, really fun football player to watch. And those are the types of plays I'm talking about, where he gets a lot of plays like this, so he doesn't get to truly show off his route running all the time. But when he does, he is a very, very special player. They got Waddle involved in the screen game. He's been involved in this all season long, pretty much. And this is really just wanted to show this play. I'm not going to show a ton of them, just probably this one only, just to show his ability after the catch. And I love the toughness running through some arm tackles. I feel like he plays a little bit bigger than his size. He's not like the most powerful guy after the catch, but he will break some tackles, show some toughness throughout the season. And it's also just super hard to tackle. For him to get outside this DB here is super impressive. Like they're like about 3 yards apart, and there's like 4 yards in between the sideline. For him to just accelerate past that DB, get pulled by the jersey, and just run for extra yards, not go down to. Love his toughness. I also want to give him credit as a blocker as well, because that's one area he's really improved. Like his blocking, I think he went from like a slightly below average wide receiver blocker to a pretty damn good wide receiver blocker. So lots of credit to Waddle throughout the season. He's made big time plays, and just really happy for him, because he just seems like such a good guy. And I know from what Raheem said, it has been getting to he hasn't feel like he's been as productive. But if you watch the film, he's still a great player. Nothing really changed. It was just more of other things that kind of were holding him back, and you really get to see how good he is in this game. He really was just like that safety blanket on third down, getting him the ball versus on this slant, this in-breaker, just timing of the route, being on the same page with Tua. You don't need to run it super hard where you're floating hard into the safety. You just want to bend this off. Like a lot of guys with the slant might take a little bit of more of an angle, like 45, and float towards that safety. He really is able to get this off horizontally. Him and Tua just being on the same page. Like, this stuff is important. It's nothing too crazy in the route stem, but this stuff is still important to be on the same page. And when the ball comes out so quick, he's able to, brace himself for contact here. And I do love the fight. Like, look at the fight here. He's not just going down right away. He takes a hit from two guys. He stays on his feet. So good place during the content balance. By him fighting for this extra yard, the whistle gets blown. And now he gets an extra, 15 yards because this guy throws an extra shoulder. And he's still unaffected by it. So I'm impressed by his toughness. I know he struggled with some injuries this season. That's going to happen, I know a lot of people really focus on injuries. Injuries happens to everyone, man. Like, Tua and Lamar Jackson were like the most known, like, injury-prone quarterbacks in the NFL, and they've been healthy all season long, knock on wood. But like other quarterbacks who are not known for injury prone have had a lot of injuries this season. It's just the nature of the NFL. Anyone can get injured at any time, and I do love Waddle showing this toughness even after facing all these injuries. Waddle was just clutch all game long, whether it was third down, fourth down. He was converting, getting these big plays, and he gets another one-on-one opportunity. These guys are not going to be able to guard him. Whether they're playing press man-to-man, they're scared to play press man-to-man because he's very, very dynamic. DJ Reed had no chance. Like, and DJ Reed's had a pretty solid career with his Jets, like, pretty much locking it down. Like, it gets, beat from time to time. But he, I feel like, has struggled more with Waddle than any other receiver I've ever seen him struggle with. Just that speed definitely scares him. Hard break to the inside, just running, this dig. Nothing too crazy within his route stem. The guy just opens up his hips because he's so threatened by his speed. He's able to catch the ball in stride. Like that, wasn't too much of a jump here. He's always kind of struggled with jumping at the catch point. He gets a little bit of a gallop there, but not too much where he wastes his speed. He's still able to catch the ball in stride, catch the ball with his hands, which is nice to see. No drop. Just another quality play on a third and medium situation for Waddle, late in the game. And these are only like 20-ish snaps into the game, so you have to understand, like, he could have, he only played 42 snaps, I think, and he could have gone absolutely insane if this game was actually close at all, because he had over 100 yards at half. Last play, right down here for Jaylen Waddle. Jets showing some, press man-to-man look here, but they actually drop out of it. It ends up becoming a zone, and Waddle, just him and Tua being on the same page. I love seeing the football intelligence out of Waddle. I know exactly what he can bring you when he gets his one-on-one opportunities and versus man-to-man. That's why those are so rare, and I would love to just show a video of all of those plays where I can just show off how he is at setting out his routes, attacking leverage, manipulating the pace, getting DBs to open up his hips, attacking blind spots, because I know he can do all of that, but he's not going to get a ton of those looks. This is a 4th and 5 to convert. Him and Tua on the same page. Tua throws with a bunch of anticipation. This is a great play from Tua, and Waddle snaps his head around, sees that Tua is trying to throw to this spot in between the linebackers, starts to slow it down, doesn't want to float too far, but doesn't want to just sit here behind it and then catch that ball and then turn into a runner. You can see the explosiveness after the catch, make guys miss. He's always, been a guy that can make, those yak plays too. He's obviously very, very good with the ball in his hands. A lot of experience coming out of college, Alabama, and I feel like they haven't even unlocked that part of his game fully yet either. So to me, he's a special player, one of the, more underrated players this year, because I feel like a lot of people touted him very highly after last season, and then they've kind of, soured on him a tiny bit, but to me, he's still that exact same player. It's just an opportunity thing, and he's very, very exciting to watch when he gets those chances. So I'm a big Jaylen Waddle fan, still one of my favorite players on this team, top 3 probably, probably number 2 with probably Tua and then Jaylen Waddle for me. Just really enjoy watching them play every week, and this was the opportunity I think Waddle was waiting for with no Tyreek, and he took 100% advantage of it. Super happy for him, happy for the team, and I hope they can build off of this and use this for the rest of the season, even with Tyreek in the game. They're going to have chances. They're playing Cowboys and Ravens next, and those teams are not afraid to play some cover 1 man-to-man coverage, so they could get their one-on-one opportunities and take advantage of that. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace.